Hi, my name is Devin Coyle, and I'm here to talk about animal cruelty and why we need stricter laws to protect them. If you imagine a world where innocent creatures we share this planet with are subject to the unimaginable pain and suffering due from humans in um, a world where their cries for help go unheard, their rights trampled upon, and their lives discarded like they're nothing. Today, I stand before you to shed a light on this grave issue that demands our urgent attention. Animals need to have stricter rights, or stricter laws, that are protecting them from animal cruelty. Animal cruelty is defined by inflicting pain, suffering, or death to any animal, while animal neglect is also a form of animal cruelty that falls under the intentional or unintentional acts of depriving an animal of food, water, or proper care. That is defined by the Humane Society. Per the Humane Society, roughly 60 seconds an animal is abused. Think about that. Think about every minute an animal is abused. Think about how many minutes are in a day. So that makes roughly 1,440 animals a day are abused. That is and less than 0.01% of that is recorded on the media. You don't hear about it all that often because it's not something that people talk about. This is why it needs to be brought to everyone's attention. According to the Veterinarians Against Abuse alone, in the United States alone, there was 16,573 animal cruelty offenses in 1 year in 2021. This is a surprising and sad fate for a lot of animals. Now that I have talked to you about why animal cruelty is a serious problem, I would like to talk to you about why education is super important. If animal cruelty was taught more in schools, I believe that it would be less of a threat to people, that animals would be less of a threat. They would, if you learned from a young age that what animal cruelty is and how animals should be protected and they should be loved, and they're going to show you unconditional love. Even if you abuse them, they are still going to want you to love them. And I think starting that education from a young age is very, very important. Um, Learning it is, you learn from your elders and you learn things from them, but you learn things from a young age as well. Being a dog foster myself, I have seen the absolute terror in dogs' eyes from the abuse that they receive. Seeing these dogs come into my house who have been thrown out of cars, have been left on streets, who were pregnant, and they took their babies away and then just left them in uh, a field, a highway, wherever they can. It's sad. And to hear that some of these dogs get put in the Humane Society or kill shelters because the owners just say, oh, I didn't realize how much work a puppy would be. That's heartbreaking. If you were to have had the educational organizations out there to help you, this wouldn't have been a problem. Um, I believe that after talking a little bit about just the education portion alone, is important, but it's not one of the most important. I think talking about the importance of enforcing these laws that are currently in place and why that needs to be a reason or a big thing. Did you know that domestic violence cases can often be linked to animal cruelty? Not many people know that. According to the PAWS Act, domestic violence and animal cruelty can run hand in hand. They saw a lot of domestic violence cases where the animals were abused as well. But most of those animal cases don't get taken to trial. You'll get the domestic violence case, possibly, yeah, but the animals, they don't, nothing happens. They get to keep them. It's whatever. It's not a thing. The PAWS Act claims to help domestic violence shelters by providing housing assistance to humans and animal victims of domestic violence. That is huge. Just being able to not only help a domestic violence person, but also be able to help the animals, that's amazing. If we enforce animal rights more often, I believe that by enforcing the animal rights, by making consequences a thing, that these animal cruelty cases and animals alone won't have to go through the pain and suffering. The the Animal Welfare Act was implemented in 1966 that set a minimum standard for minimum care for housing animals. But that's just a minimum. I think that there needs to be standard care and enforced standard law that if you abuse an animal, you're going to go to jail. Most of these cases, like I said, they don't get justice. They don't get prosecuted. They don't get, if anything, they're going to get a fine and some, maybe they'll get probation. But other than that, I mean, think about the dog fighting, the cock ring fightings. There's just so much that these poor animals are not getting the help that they should and being protected like they should. And something needs to happen. I believe that after all of this, I hope that I have been able to talk a little bit or shed some light on animal cruelty and how important it is that these laws and that are currently in place are acted more upon, and that there needs to be more, or at least tougher ones, to protect these animals. Thank you and have a good day.